And a very good morning to you. You should be there. We should be there. There we are. Very good morning from Max Hurd and Keith Hayes on Friday morning, the 15th of July, middle of the month. How the hell did he get here? It was only July the 1st the other day. July the 4th, when we had a very good time.
We did, yeah.
We did indeed. It's not been a bad week, a bad month so far, actually. In the first 2 weeks, we've had a lot of interesting guests, and we've had plenty of people that we literally pulled out of the corridors of the hotel, which is what it was all about. It's who's who. Who's coming to Lewes? What sort of representation do we get from overseas? Do we get a lot of tourists? And the answer is sitting here, far more than I thought, I'll have to admit. Far more people coming, and interesting people at that. Right, this is Mirador Television, broadcasting from the White Hart Hotel in Lewes, in East Sussex, and we are going to spend the next hour and a half or so, 2 hours, just taking a look at what's going on, both locally, in the news, nationally and internationally, what's daft, what's silly, and what's downright hilarious. So we'll go, first of all, to the newspapers, but first, as I always do now, I like us to relax just for a moment or two, just a little relaxy. Here we go. Right, Max, you've been scouring the newspapers there, looking at all the fine print on the inside of the paper. Anything come across your radar that you think, oh my God?
Yeah, this new lady who seems to be in the running out of nowhere. What's her name?
Penny Mordaunt?
Penny Mordaunt.
Yeah.
She's come out of nowhere into second place. Is it immediately in both?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
For now. But she, I'm not too sure on her. I'll be honest. I was looking at her track record on things. It's back here somewhere. They have all of her track records and her opinions on issues and her voting patterns, and I'm not impressed.
Right, okay. Point out two things that you're very unimpressed with.
She's flip-flopping on trans rights.
Oh, why do we get excited about that?
Because she's saying that men can be women, which is not okay.
Thousands are dying on the front line from Russian rockets and so on. Why do we get so bloody upset about whether men are women and women are men and so on and so forth? To me, it's fairly clear cut. And in fact, one day you said,
yeah, I know.
Biologically.
It is.
Yeah.
No, I agree. It is biological.
Yeah.
She's saying that men can be women. I completely 100% disagree.
Yeah. So, what amazes me is why that should be so important.
Why? Because
why as an issue? I mean, all this trans stuff, and I mean, even with all due respect, is all this stuff that comes out of Brighton about the rainbow or whatever.
Pride. Yeah.
So pride. That's it. Is why is it thrust down our throats? I don't understand. I don't have anything against gays, lesbians, all the other isms, I have nothing whatsoever.
But you
But they keep
have to-
on ramming it down my throat that I should be aware.
poor choice of words when talking about the gay community, but yeah, no, for 1% of the population, it does seem overblown. They're always going on and saying, "You must
Seem,
agree
I would
with
say
us."
it is, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, actually, I do understand that there is intolerance. That there are still people that undoubtedly discriminate against gay people.
I'm sure there are,
Undoubtedly,
but that's
some
not-
people who yell and scream at them. But is it worth all the taking our eye off the ball of really important things where thousands are dying to make these points?
No, but what they would say is yes, because it directly affects me. I mean, I'm not being affected by what's going on in Ukraine and Russia right now, really.
You are.
I'm not being directly affected. I mean, sure, petrified.
You are.
How am I being affected by Russian?
How much more expensive was that this morning than it was 2 months ago, 3 months ago?
Yeah, quite a bit more.
Yeah, you see, people don't relate to what's going on in the world as to price rises. It's all the fault of the government. We got rid of Boris, you see, so that's all solved. Press. Sorry to be so direct. We're in the White Hart Hotel if you want to come and cut my throat. I don't mind in the least you having a go. Yeah, having a go. Just remember where I've been in some places. Right, okay. So Penny Mordaunt is on the inside pages, and she actually came across your radar as well as being on the newspaper headlines. So let's just go for the news headlines because that'll put into perspective what you just said. And that is the Times, a boost for Truss in her bitter struggle with Mordaunt. So we've got two ladies striving to be the new Prime Minister, with Rishi Sunak still top of the bill, but somehow fading out of the public's conscious. And the two ladies who look as if they're going to go neck and neck in this, Liz Truss and Penny Mordaunt, are creating a hell of a stir one way or another. But are they worth the candle? Now, you just pointed out that they've gone issue by issue, which makes you as a young voter, and it's very important that we get your reflection. You as a young voter, you say, you know, I'm going off her a bit because, or not even on her, because of her track record and so on. What is Liz Truss's track record, and have they done that bit by bit? And what is how's the public viewing her?
Well, I don't have her track record on me, but I do know she has also said some questionable things. But who I have seen, what was his name? I can't remember his name. He was Education Secretary.
Right.
Yeah. How I can't remember something. I can't remember something foreign. But I really didn't like him. He wanted to ban homeschooling.
Oh yes, you mentioned this, and this was a key issue to you. Yeah. And that is one that will affect an awful lot of people.
Well, yeah.
Well, you have the option to do it, and some people do, and some people don't. But I would have thought, with lockdown and working from home and so on and so forth, is that homeschooling has probably increased.
Oh yeah, it has.
You've seen some stats, have you? Yeah. Well, there we go. Is my guess. Also, followed up by the reality.
Because their kids have been at home and doing online school, parents can see what the teachers are teaching their kids now, and that's what's driven up homeschooling. Because the parents can actually see what's being taught to their kids.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, that's quite important, isn't it? Because the teachers and the educational industry has got out of control a little bit.
Teachers do have an agenda, and they are political. I will not say who or anything about the person, but I did have a teacher once explain to me that 9/11 actually wasn't that bad of a thing.
Oh, right. Okay.
And another teacher tried to explain to me why Abu Hamza wasn't a bad guy, but the media was misrepresenting him and making him look bad.
Oh dear.
So
Yes.
yes, there are some interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how. I mean, I don't mind people having these wacky views.
No, obviously.
That's what our society is all about. But for a teacher, and to be actively teaching those things in schools, that worries me.
But yeah, that's why
exactly.
That's one of the reasons I want to homeschool my kids when I have them.
Right. You haven't got any yet.
No, not yet. No, but I will do at some point, and they will be homeschooled.
He's going to be flavor of the month pretty soon. You know, sassy man about town. Right, the Daily Mail. Mordaunt under the microscope. Dear, dear, dear. What issues do they say? Her old boss, Lord Frost, says he has grave reservations about her as Prime Minister. I mean, to me, politicians saying, I mean, let's put it this way. When you've got a poor lot of politicians and you get to this sort of situation, you know how poor they are because all they can do is mudsling. They don't talk any positive stuff whatsoever. None whatsoever. It's all he said, she said. Guess what? She was caught under the desk with a mousetrap. Whatever. It all gets very silly. So I don't care about Frost saying anything about her. But Braverman, who is knocked out, I understand, backs Truss and says Penny doesn't stand up for women who are trial. That's what you found the trans debate. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
He stands on the side of men can get pregnant too.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah. Well, there we are. Right, the questions over her backers and lack of cabinet support. Lack of cabinet support, I would say, is a plus because that it would appear that the reason that she's gone zooming in the polls is because she's not tarred with the cabinet brush, which many of the others are. But so over her backers, the people that backed her, oh, well, if they're not part of the establishment, you can guarantee that somebody will be blacking them. I mean, I just find this all distasteful. I stand up for what I've said from the very beginning. There are 650 of them, and the 650 should resign. Start fresh. And not only that, reform the way that we get politicians. It's quite shameful the way that we actually get candidates.
Speaking of reform, there's a good party that's come up recently in the last 2 years. Reform UK. It's kind of a replacement for Brexit. It's run by Lawrence Fox.
Right.
His party's quite good, Reform UK. I might consider voting for them, actually.
How many candidates have they got?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think before you decide on, it is nice to think of the individual. But, for instance, the Greens nationally have got very few MPs, and the one is Mrs. Lucas or Miss Lucas or Mrs. Lucas out of Brighton, and she has no influence whatsoever, none, because she's so isolated. Just one or two. You really need a good little cadre if you're going to be effective. I'm all for smaller parties. Don't misunderstand, but I think you've got to make sure that they're going to be effective. At least I would before I would vote for them. Anyway, be that
they
as it
can't
may.
be effective until someone votes for them. That's the thing.
Well, I suppose they can. I mean, some smaller parties.
Culturally,
they get 50, 60, 70 people standing as candidates across the country. But anyway, we won't get into an argument about that. Not just yet. I dare you. Right, the Metro. Pennies in heaven. Oh, the play on words. You know how stupid it's getting when they start to play on words. Pennies in heaven. Metro reports a survey of Tory members suggests Penny Mordaunt would be the favourite if she reaches the final two in the race to succeed Boris Johnson. I have mentioned it on the air, but I don't know whether I said it to you. Do you see that in fact, the poll of polls, according to, I think it's Little John, is that the favourite to be a prime minister out of all the candidates is Boris. I'd love to see the faces in their meeting rooms when they come up with that little gem. All right, the I. Tory rivals turn on Mordaunt as favourite for his TV trial. You see, okay, I understand that you try to knock the opposition. But this is, as the previous front page said, this is crisis point. This is, we are at a key point in the future history and economy of the United Kingdom and where it's going. And to sort of say, oh, they didn't do this and they didn't do that. For God's sake, will you please tell us what you would do? Not she can't do it and he can't do it. What would you do if you were a nominee? And there's very little of that coming out of the nominees. And that's why, in my view, that we have got a weak group and a weak candidacy for Prime Minister. They're all reluctant to say what they would do. And the fact is, I'm sure that's coming out of the cabinet because poor old Boris was faced with the same thing. Poor old Boris, listen to me. Oh dear, hang my head in shame. But the fact of the matter is that the issues are so complex that there are no simple answers. And it's always very difficult for a politician who are used to one-liners, and for that matter, for the voter who asks for one-liners, to understand when issues get very, very complex. And Stuart Dolby was here yesterday, our energy correspondent, but also hosts with Max a program each Wednesday, the whole program. And he said that in the energy system, to try and explain to people why we have an energy crisis is so complicated, you can't actually narrow it down to single points. So as a consequence, people just shrug their shoulders and they go away. And then all they know is that they've got a crisis with gas prices, electricity prices. And will the lights go out? Right. Okay. The Daily Express. Knives out for penny. Not up to the job, say rivals. Now, it's interesting.
Of course, the rivals are going to say that. It said, of course, the rivals are going to say that.
Of course they are, yeah. It's interesting that the Daily Express is a paper that has traditionally supported the government. And if it's supporting the government and it's putting out headlines like that, it makes me think that they have switched their allegiance from Boris. Well, obviously they would, but to anybody but Penny Mordaunt, which makes it very interesting. It's not what they're not saying is interesting, I think. The Daily Telegraph.
Or they have something else? Oh, wait, no, they don't. I thought they had a different headline.
Frost urges Badenoch to stand down for Truss. Well, I think Badenoch has gone, has he not? No, he's not. He's still there. Yeah,
that's she.
Yeah.
Kemi Badenbach. She's still in the race, and she's in.
Okay.
Fourth.
Well, that's a newspaper that's advocating strategic voting, which I don't like one little bit. Nothing comes out of strategic voting except sometimes the poorest candidate gets the job. The Mirror, red hot alert, right? The Mirror is going to stay with the fact that we are going to have a scorcher. We're having it again today, having it again tomorrow, and over the weekend. And next week is supposed to get even hotter.
40.
Right. It's a docks for 40 degrees centigrade, a surge in heat. Wow, that is some heat. How do we convert to the thing that I would understand?
Fahrenheit.
Yeah,
you don't know.
We multiply by 2, so that's 80, add 32, add 32, 80, 90, 100. That would be over 100 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what your real thing says.
What is 40 degrees in Fahrenheit? 404. Oh, sorry, 404? 104.
Well, it's right, over 100 degrees. Yeah. Wow, that is hot. That is hot.
100 degrees Fahrenheit is 37, and it's supposed to be 37 on a Tuesday. But
well, as they say, some like it hot, but that's a bit too hot for me.
That is, that's way too much.
Yeah. The sun, Vardy bushfire terror. Is they say that the WAG lady, Rebecca Vardy, is preparing to evacuate a holiday home in Portugal due to nearby brushfires. Did we need to know that?
No, not really.
And did we need to know that on a front page? The Vardy bushfire terror?
From the sun.
Is the sun.
I thought it was the day start.
The Guardian. Jail water firm bosses over pollution, says Watchdog. I see what is jail water firm bosses over pollution, says the Watchdog. All right. Well, for 20 years or more, they've been pouring raw sewage and have been fined millions and millions of pounds for doing it. But once again, this is what I've been preaching for some time now. Corporate Britain has got a very weak leadership. We haven't got people of worth at the head of companies. So we're finding that they actually are finding all sorts of cheap ways of solving problems because they don't know how to solve them otherwise. And that's no problem solving at all. I don't know whether any companies still do it, but I know that in 1980s, 1990s, that some companies would hire graduates, particularly bright ones. And all those graduates did was they came in and they went into a room and they thought all day. And they would chat because that's where, without the interruption from bosses, without the interruption of you're sounding idiotic, and they were not allowed to call one another idiots. And people would come up with the most ridiculous ideas, but to see whether, in fact, they could stand the test of perhaps bringing something practical. We don't do that anymore. Well, not that I'm aware. And certainly is any innovation comes from computers. Ha, 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 ha. If the computers have screwed it up, boy, they're the root of a lot of evil in my book. Yep. See, I'm a real Luddite. Yeah. Right, okay, the Financial Times. Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan, the results have set a grim tone for Wall Street. Well, I guess they must be the bellwether stocks. Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan, both banking stocks, aren't they? So if they're showing pretty grim reading, the rest of the stocks will. So it is our current problems are beginning to seep over into everyday life, if you like. Hi, they are indeed. All right. Well, that's the papers. Wait, did I not go through the data? Oh, right. I missed the Star. How can I possibly miss the Star? My favorite paper.
What is this headline?
MasterChef John, I'm a werewolf. The Daily Star headlines on jokey remarks made by MasterChef John Tundall that he is a werewolf in an interview with as a TV personality, and said he becomes more agitated during a full moon. A lot of people become agitated during a full moon. Doesn't make them werewolves, but anyway, if he's convinced, let him be, let him be, let him be. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. All right, those are the headlines there. Anything to add?
From behind the papers?
Yeah.
I do. I need to find it though. Do you want to play a little clip whilst we?
While we look for this, why not? Let's see whether we can find it. A little clip. Let's have a look. Well,
Trump's ex-wife found dead at age 73.
While we're looking, we'll have another look at the Sackville ghost, shall we? Ghost story is pretty good. At breakfast time, ghost stories are terrific. All the fears of the night have disappeared. I'm supposed to have done. Mickleham Priory is near Lewes. It was a former Augustine 13th century monastery. The main building has been preserved, but the church was pulled down by Henry VIII. The monks there had a reputation for naughtiness. Ghostly figures of monks are often seen walking the grounds. Stories of orgies and chasing the girls in the local village were legion. The priory became a private residence. One of its occupants was Sir Thomas Sackville, who lived there in the late 1500s. He was, by all accounts, a nasty bit of work. His ghost is said to bully the other spirits, as well as unsuspecting mortals. It must be true, I felt him kick me. Microphone on. What have you got?
Trump's ex-wife died at 73 years old.
Oh, yes, I noticed that.
She fell down.
Ivana Trump, yeah. I mean, she became as well known as her husband, Ivana, and before she dumped him or he dumped her. I suppose she didn't do too badly after the settlement. But there we are. So anyway, she's died, and no suspicious circumstances.
No, there are. Well, not. They didn't say suspicious circumstances, but she was found on the floor at the bottom of her stairs.
Right.
So she probably fell.
Yeah, I mean, it is a worry. I luckily I don't have any upstairs, downstairs within my actual apartment, but I do have some stairs to get up to, and from time to time, I must confess, is I think if I fall down these stairs, who's to know for any length of time? So it is a problem. I think that's a good story to pick up, particularly since whether like him or loathe him, Trump has he's rattled a lot of cages in both the United States and around the world, and if he's done nothing more than that, his term of office was well worthwhile. Anything else?
Yeah. So from Sky News here, I'm pretty sure this is just I don't really know. I don't want to say fake or throwaway headline, but I don't really know. Seems a little bit clickbait to me. Men under 40 should have no more than a shot glass of beer a day. A shot glass. No more than a shot glass. I don't know if you remember well when you were sort of my age. Were you drinking a shot glass of beer a night?
These are lovely stories. It doesn't matter whether it's fake or not. I mean, somebody somewhere could have done a sort of, a test, and over a period of months or whatever, just lived on a shot glass of beer. I just do find them quite funny, quite amusing that these things come out from time to time. And I'm quite sure that there are people who say, "Oh, I'll cut down my intake of beer down to a shot glass," as if it's going to save their lives. So yeah, that's an interesting story. Where did the story come out of?
The Sky News.
Yeah, but I mean, what country is this survey taken?
The UK. Actually.
In the UK, right? Okay, yeah.
The researchers called for a stronger guidance to warn young adults of the dangerous health posed by drinking. I already know the health.
Yeah, I know.
Like negative. I already know the negative side effects that alcohol has. But I still drink it.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, to be quite honest with you, it's the same as cannabis. You know, cannabis seems to me to be, if you excuse the pun, flavor of the month. Everybody is saying, you can get cannabis and this and cannabis and this and how it's health problems and so on and so forth. Everybody's forgotten all the negatives.
A huge amount of negatives.
Yeah, but the one key one is that users are quite likely to have a heart attack just suddenly.
Are you sure?
Yes. And that comes out of work done in 1970, 1960s, 1970s, because I knew the doctor who is in charge of it. And he's very impressive with his research. But the point is made that if you go out to the pub today and you get drunk, you get slowly drunk. And with a hangover, what happens is you slowly get undrunk. With cannabis, you actually get very quickly high. You get quickly drunk. And when you when you stop, you come quickly down. And that has a very different effect on the body than alcohol or even some other drugs. It's yush, yush. You didn't know that, did you?
Well, no, I knew that. I knew it. I knew that was like there's a common sense thing to understand, but
yeah.
Like...
The main thing that worries me about drugs is that they say for recreational use and so on, but I mean, there's a lot of evidence to suggest that key decisions are made while people are on drugs. And by all means, if it's not doing anybody any harm, take the drugs. Even illegally take the drugs. But if you actually are taking them so that you make decisions which, in the light of day, you wouldn't make, then that is a very dangerous situation. Never mind. What else have you found?
So, from Sussex World, Worthing shop targeted by burglars, owner lost thousands of pounds worth of goods.
And what sort of shop was it?
A tech shop.
Oh, right. Okay.
So phones, like an off-brand. The shop CEX?
Yes.
It's an off-brand one of those, and someone broke into it and stole a whole bunch of phones and electronics.
So if you're offered a phone on the street corner, think twice before buying it.
Yeah, think twice anyway. But if you're in Worthing, definitely think twice.
Right. So that's. That is a bit of crime that we brought into the proceedings. How are we doing on time? 9:07. Yes. I think what we might do now is we might, I hopefully, before Melissa comes along, put up a...
Well, whilst you're looking for a video, I'll tell you this one.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
A shark spotted in River Stour. River Stour. How would you say that word? River Stour.
Yeah.
Leaves woman amazed that a shark was found in it.
Oh, really?
A living, swimming shark.
Wow. Yeah. You think twice about swimming in that river, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I always forget that we can get these sorts of things.
Yes, indeed.
doesn't fill me with joy because yesterday I spent an hour and 40 minutes in Brighton Beach in the water.
Right. Now, if I can, well, you keep going.
Trying to look for some stories. NASA Mars rover spotted a funky object looking like tangles of spaghetti, supposedly.
What was it? What was it? It wasn't spaghetti. It was.
They don't know. They are unsure of what the object was.
Where was it found?
On Mars.
On Mars?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, in other words, a foreign object.
Yeah.
Actually, we are finding things, aren't we? Wasn't there a bit of a rocket turn up on the moon the other day and nobody claimed responsibility?
I hadn't heard about that. But they say they found life on Mars. They found some, like a clump of cells on Mars. They found like bacteria. So that's life on Mars. I mean, if a small clump of cells on Mars is life,
right?
Then does that mean a small clump of cells in a womb is life?
Well, I don't know. I suppose it's a moot, arguable point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we don't seem to have the program that I downloaded this morning because there are too many files the same name.
What was it? Okay.
No, that
search.
Oh, I don't know what it was called. Yeah, it just got a number.
0092.
0092.
Type in 00 and it should come up.
Right. Okay.
00. Do you want me to do it for you?
Yeah.
I got the maths, otherwise can't do anything. You can't.
Forgive us while we actually fart around like this.
It's frozen.
At the moment, we just haven't. We haven't got enough.
It's actually frozen.
People, there's. Oh dear, we've broken it, have we?
Are we still alive?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Well,
well, actually, I don't know. We better check.
Here, I've got it.
You.
Yeah, we are live. Okay, but it's frozen. We can't see anything. We can't do anything right now, but it's frozen. No. But we are showing up.
Right. So for some reason we've
press cancel. Yeah. Or open maybe. Yeah.
It's the system didn't.
Yeah. Should we just try again?
Yeah, have a go. We need to unlock it. That's all.
It's completely frozen. What the hell? Oh my goodness. It's completely frozen.
Well, it is.
Okay. Well, let's just go on the headlines for now until we can figure out what's going on.
Yes. Now we've got we've got some comments. So let's see if the comments are pertinent.
You can't click on anything. You can't click on the comments. Nothing's working.
I see. Yeah, everything's gone. How silly!
Oh, hang on. I have the comment here. Actually, Okay. Hi, Mr. Keith. We give a shout out to my partner, Adam. He is your biggest fan.
Right, who's it from?
Carly.
Carly?
Yes.
Carly May Kavanagh. Well, yes, who are we?
Shout out to Adam.
Hello, Adam. You've caught us right in the middle of an absolute crisis again. We struggle from crisis to crisis in this thing, mostly because of the internet stuff. But delighted to have you with us. And we would actually put up the we put up the comment, except that we can't put anything up at the moment. I think we might might have to shut it down and go away and come back. You think?
Yeah, genuinely.
Actually, it's 9:14. We could actually take the fabled break, couldn't we?
We'll have to do it.
And if in fact you're the other person who has come in on the comment, if you wouldn't mind doing it again, because we value your comments. But the whole system has decided to pack up, get a better system, you would say. But actually, it is the vagaries of various systems.
I've never seen this before, like the way it's frozen.
Oh, I have, yeah. What you need to do is so naive about things. Now, well, we've unlocked something, but have we actually lost ourselves? I don't think so. I think that
like X there, which might work. X, not the plus. Yeah, and then again, there you go. Does it work now? Can you move things? Oh, no.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's just taking us back to the first page. Oh, there. Ah, here we are. Hello. We recognize ourselves. So let's see whether we... Right. There we go. It was there from Carly. Carly May Kavanagh. Hi, Mr. Keith. Will you give a shout out to my partner, Adam? He's your biggest fan. Lovely. And that we actually, the second one is the same thing repeated. So there you are, Carly. Eventually we got there, and delighted that we've got some people that actually watch us, and because when anybody questions our figures, we say, well, a hell of a lot of people that don't show up in the stats, and they don't. So you're one of them. Great stuff, wonderful stuff. Thank you very much indeed for.
Should we try
yes.
up the video and see?
We will.
Remove these two. Yeah, do you want me to do this? I'll just get it done.
All right. Yeah. There you go.
Let's try to get this sorted. All right. Maybe this was an issue. Hopefully this doesn't freeze again. What was it you wanted to show?
The one 007 whatever.
Okay.
Which
isn't sharp then. No. It's not there. I don't know why.
Right.
We'll have to find it for the.
Well, during the break, we'll find it. Yeah.
Is there another one we want to
right. Let's have a look. We showed like Lewis the other day. Let's show it again because a lot of people don't even know their own town. But those people watching us like to know where they're emanating from. So. Let's out Lewis. Yeah.
And we're back. Run.
And here we are, back again after all the kerfuffle. And Carly Mae Kavanagh, in case you missed it, in all that hassle that we had just before we managed to sort things out, is we'll do it again. Hello, Adam, and thanks for watching in. The panic everywhere. Can't you tell the stricken panic look on our face when things go wrong in this place? We just shrug our shoulders. Luckily, we're in a bar, so all we have to do is to go and have another drink, and that puts us on the track to getting things back right on kilter and right the way they should be. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
He's too young to drink at this hour of the morning. Oh, no, you just turned 18.
Yes.
Yeah, but I insist that he shows us his ID every time. Is that a thrill, the first time that you're not asked for ID?
Yes, it's
It
nice.
is, yeah. I can remember, because I was in Canada when I was your age, and it was 21 before you could go into the pubs.
Really?
Yeah. But what we would do is we would go below the line into Washington State, because there it was 19, and so you couldn't drink legally in Canada, but you could drink in the United States. So we would just go over the border into a tiny little community called Blaine. Blaine didn't have much to offer, but what it did have, it had about 10 pubs.
What is the border between America and Canada like? Can you just walk across, or what was it like back in the day?
Well, back in the day, I mean, the last time I was there, I think was in 2000 and something. But now, if you're a resident, there is a fast track. You can actually get into your car and drive straight over the border without stopping. But there are customs posts, and if you're not, you have to show your passport and or credentials to get into and out of the United States. And actually, I was saying the other day, I believe that I'm probably an illegal in the United States, because I was visiting my relatives in Ontario, and they said, okay, well, there's a place that we have dinner, and we go over to the Rainbow Bridge, which is over Niagara Falls. So we went over and had dinner, and one thing led to another, and it was about 2:00 in the morning before we came back, and the border posts had closed, so you just drive through. But I'd given up my documents to say I went into the United States, but I've never ever received the documents back to say I've come out. So I may well be on a statistic somewhere in the States. Don't worry, I'm only one. All right, where are we? We're 9:26. Can you play a little? Just don't play it for a moment, because I think I should remind you that it is the 25th day of the 15th day of July in 2022. And that we are heading for another day of 25, 26 in the hot scale, and that it's going to go up. And I questioned, Max said, some people say that it's going to hit 40. And I say, that's boiling point. But in fact, there are suggestions that we may well be hitting 40 degrees.
Yeah, the Met Office said.
Hey?
That it was the Met Office that said that it was warning out.
Yes.
So, I mean, they're pretty reliable.
Yes. I mean, it's very, very hot.
Yeah.
Very, very hot. And that's for all next week as well. So we really are a hot spot, as it were. So that's a slight breeze. There's a slight breeze. And the funny thing is, yesterday, is that slight breeze was rather more than a slight breeze, because the wind came up out of the Twins, and it actually took my hat off at one stage. So that's the Twitten, which is Anglo-Saxon lane that leads to the High Street. We've got a number of Twittens in Lewes, still extant, still from the Saxon time. and it actually funnels the wind. Even though the breeze is light, it funnels it enough to actually, as you go across the top of it, there's a blast of air, and it was enough to take my hat off. The son has got his hat on, hip, 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 hooray! But my hat went off down the high street and barreling down, and I had to barrel after it to try and rescue it. We all wanted to know that. So it's 6. No, it's not 6. Don't be so silly. Don't be so silly. You've been here too long, Keith. It is now 9:28, and if you'll be good enough to play us out, we will take a 10-minute break, and we will be back with Affairs from the Heart.
Okay. Goodbye.
Ta-da.